But turning our attention now to boxing, an Aussie WBC super middleweight world champion, Sakio Bika, is gearing up for his rematch with American Anthony Dirrell tomorrow morning in California. Boxing expert Paul Upham joins me now to preview the fight. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you.
Good morning, Jessica.
Now, these guys fought a 12-round draw when they met last December in New York. What can we expect this time around?
With the style matchup, I think we're going to see exactly the same. It was one of the fights of the year last year. It's on the Showtime network. They really wanted to put this fight on again because it was so exciting. It ended in a draw. Both guys got hurt. They stood toe-to-toe. There was lots of action. And Sakio Bika, he's always in the most exciting fights because he's just so wild and explosive. And we see there, he actually got hurt, Sakio. He went down, but he came back. And I thought he won the fight by a point. Two judges had it split and one had it a draw. In the end, it was a draw. So Sakio retained his belt, but we're going to see it all over again. And I think we'll expect to see exactly the same type of fight.
Well, let's hope this time round that we see Bika win. What do you think he needs to do this time to put it to bed?
Sakio's biggest problem has always been he's so wild with his punches. He gets so excited in there and wants to throw so many punches. He's got to be more accurate with his punches. He's got to just slow down a little bit and make sure he lands on target, because when he lands, he hurts. He's one of the toughest fighters in the world. Joe Calzaghe, the great Welsh Hall of Famer who never lost, said that Sakio Bika gave him the most physical fight of his career. When you go in there, you go to war with Sakio Bika. He's the Scorpion from Cameroon, and he just needs to be more economical with his punches, more accurate, and just keep his punches up. He lost 1 point in the last fight for a borderline low blow. So the referee will be looking out for that, because Sakio's got a bit of reputation for that. So he's just got to be on target and he can win this fight.
Well, the war of words, as you'd expect, has already erupted between these two, but physically, how do they measure up?
Dirrell's just a little bit taller than him, than Sakio, but they match up pretty much same. You can see there just a little bit of height, but I don't think it's going to affect Sakio. He's fought taller guys before, but Sakio's he's built like a brick. He's just so tough. He's got, one of the American commentators once said that he's got muscles in his eyebrows. There's muscles everywhere. He's so stripped down nicely at 168 pounds at super middleweight, so I don't think there's a problem. Look, I have no doubt that Sakio can win this fight if he just concentrates on his game plan, stays busy and gets accurate with those punches.
So what is next for him should he win this fight tomorrow morning? At
35 years of age, he needs a win. He can't afford a loss because it would be a long way back at the age of 35. He's on the Showtime television network. There'll be millions of people watching around the world. There's lots of great champions out there. Andre Ward is the best at super middleweight, but he's already fought Sakio, and he said he doesn't want to fight Sakio Bika again. Sakio talked at the press conference yesterday about maybe going up to light heavyweight and challenging one of the champions there, because now he wants those big fights. He's managed by Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather's manager, who seems to be the key figure in boxing. So the doors can open for Sakio. He just needs to win. He can't get a draw, will keep him the title, but he said, I really want to prove that I beat this guy the first time, Anthony Dirrell. So fingers crossed Sakio can do it.
Yeah, there's plenty on the line, and of course Australian boxing really needs a win this weekend. It's been a horror run for the Aussies fighting in the US over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, 3 losses. With Jared Fletcher lost last week. Obviously Daniel Gill had that big upset loss, and Blake Caparello. So we really need Sakio Bika to win. We've only got 2 world champions, Sakio and Sam Solomon, who's got a fight coming up in October. So we need a win. Daniel Dawson's going to fight in America next week on ESPN. So we need a win. Australian boxing needs to prove itself after 3 knockout losses in America.
Well, in terms of, I guess, fighting in the US, Bika has plenty of experience, doesn't he? More so than the guys that have lost in the last couple of weeks. His last couple of fights have been in New York, Las Vegas, California. So I guess he has plenty of experience in terms of fighting in that kind of arena to draw on.
He is very experienced. He's fought all the way around the world. He's chased the world champions. Now he's finally world champion, and he's got that chance. And tomorrow on main event, 11 o'clock, there's 3 main fights on. He'll be the second fight on after 11 o'clock. He's got the opportunity to prove to the world that he is the best super middleweight in the world, because no one really wants to fight Sakio. But now he's got the belt, they have to fight him.
You mentioned just before Sam Solomon. He has a fight coming up in the US in early. Tell us about that one.
Jermaine Taylor, the former undisputed middleweight world champion. Apparently they've thrown a truckload of money at Sam to put the belt on the line. It's going to be in the first week of October, maybe on the long weekend, maybe a midweek ESPN fight. And it's a great opportunity for Sam to get his name out there again in America and get some good money. Taylor was the undisputed world champion. He had a loss, and he's had time off for a little while now. He's back. He's had a few wins. So it's a good matchup for Sam. Sam is 41 years of age, so he wants some big fights now, some big money fights. So it's a great opportunity for him to get over there in America.
Now, before that one, we have Aussie Daniel Dawson facing former world champion Austin Trout. That's next Saturday morning. What can we expect in that match?
Well, Austin Trout, former world champion, and they both had losses. Daniel Dawson had a loss to the WBO world champion a couple of years ago in America. They're fighting on ESPN. You'll be able to see that live here in Australia on Saturday morning from 11 o'clock next week. And again, it's an opportunity for him to get a win against a big name, Austin Trout, and that would propel him to a bigger fight, hopefully a world title fight. So fingers crossed for Daniel Dawson. We get a win by Sakio Bika today, and we get a win by Daniel Dawson next week.
That sounds pretty good to me.
I'll take
now,
that.
Floyd Mayweather's got a rematch coming up too.
Yeah, Floyd, September 13, the money man, Money Mayweather, pound for pound #1 best boxer in the world. He's trying to maintain that undefeated record. He had a fight earlier this year in May against Maidana, the Argentine, and they're having a rematch. It was unexpectedly close for Floyd Mayweather. And at the age of 37, the question is Floyd Mayweather starting to slow down a little bit? The question will be answered in September 3, MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and that fight will be on main event here in Australia. So you do not want to miss the pound for pound #1 Floyd Money Mayweather.
You do not want to miss that. But don't forget main event tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Sakio Bika in action. Paul, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jessica.